Hey everyone, it's Dave, and I'm here to tell you about the Early Civilizations paper. I'm going to walk you through the instructions and hopefully give you some helpful hints on completing the paper. So when you open up the file here, it is the assignment on top asking you to write a 3 to 4 page research paper in the form of a letter to a friend or family member. Explain to this person the significance of the civilization and the type of artwork that you have focused on. You can specifically speak on the artwork that you created in part 2 of this project. So again, a 3 to 4 page research paper is what I'm looking for. And as far as that's concerned, you want to do a minimum of 3 pages, not including any endnotes or footnotes. You can write a 4th page if you want, but you want to do at least 3 full pages. Include the following in your letter. When you first start writing, the first paragraph is going to set the mood. It's going to be your creative writing paragraph. You're going to date the letter, address the person who you're going to write to, and explain to them about your interest in this particular civilization. Then focus your paper on one particular form of art. And we kind of already did this through the bibliography. Is it a fresco painting, a marble sculpture, or maybe it's pottery, perhaps even a mummy portrait? What was this type of object used for? How was it created? How does it fit into the fabric of the civilization? Was it used during a specific time period? For instance, in Egypt, was it used during the New, Middle, or Old Kingdom? And it's always a good idea to include terms we've learned over the semester. For instance, hieratic scale and relief sculpture. In our history, we also love to compare and contrast with other artworks. You can do so within the culture itself that you're writing about, but it's not uncommon to also compare and contrast with other cultures. How does the significance of the object differ from one culture to the next? And finally, don't forget that you'll need to do further research on the time period, civilization, and medium that you chose. With the sources, you need to use 4 academic level sources, and we've already outlined those in the annotated bibliography. That doesn't restrict you to only those 4 sources. If you end up finding other ones that are better, you're more than welcome to use them. And your textbook can also be used, but remember, it doesn't count as one of the 4 sources. You are also not limited in the amount of sources. Don't forget, you can do 5, 6, 7 sources, but you're not going to do something like 20. It needs to be reasonable for a 3 to 4 page research paper. One of those sources needs to be non-website. So a book, an article, interview, museum label, video, anything like that would be great. And also, as a note, sources are to be used as evidence to support your ideas. Imagine a detective in a murder investigation. The detective names the killer, then supports his claim with evidence, means, opportunity, and motive. We do the exact same thing with academic writing. We make a claim and then support that claim with evidence we found from our research. Sources should be spaced throughout your paper. There's nothing worse than having all the sources in one paragraph. Not only is it bad writing form, it also loses the voice that you have when you're writing a research paper. The grading rubric that I have is pretty evenly spaced, around 25 points for each section. So we're looking for appropriately presenting and organizing the information, analyzing, evaluating, interpreting information, spelling, grammar, flow, and appropriate length, 25 points also, and the correct use of citations. And I'll have a separate video on citations for you. With the paper format, in the upper left-hand corner of the paper, this is going to be single-spaced. Your name, put Art 3, and then the Early Civilizations paper. You're going to skip 2 lines and then begin writing. The paper, again, should be 3 to 4 pages in length, typed, double-spaced, 1-inch margins. If they're 1 1/4, that's totally okay. I've just had students create margins that are like 2 or 3 inches, and the paper just is very long and narrow, and that's not what I'm looking for. Use standard types of fonts, Times or Times New Roman. Please use 12 point. I would ask that you use Chicago style citations. If you're more familiar with MLA format and want to use that, I'm totally okay with that as well, as long as you have citations. Then you want to proofread your paper. Grammar and spelling are taken into consideration. And when the grammar and spelling are good, I can grade so much quicker. It's just amazing what a difference it makes. And again, when you submit your projects, they need to be done in either a Word or a PDF file. Either one works with the program. Helpful hints on writing. Do not use slang. When you and I are talking, we can say something's legit, but the word is really legitimate, and that's what you need to use in academic writing. The word artwork, that's one word, not two. When we talk about works of art, they're works of art. They're not pieces of art. Piece denotes a fraction, and the last thing we want is a broken artwork. And then finally, a lot of people write piece of work, and that doesn't mean anything at all. So it's always work of art or artwork. Make sure to utilize titles of artworks. Make sure to italicize the titles of artworks. If you're comparing and contrasting, for instance, the sculpture of Khafre, you want to italicize Khafre, for instance. Do you also not talk about your level, above your level of expertise or knowledge? Don't try to impress me. Basically, what you want to do is write, get your point across, show that you've done research, and that's really what I'm looking for. Using fancy words and things like that you don't have control over doesn't help at all. Always write at your level of writing, and that's all I can really ask for. The point value here is 100 points, and it is due Sunday, October 29th. If you have any questions, of course, always email me. I'm happy to help explain things further. There is an example of a completed essay on the Moodle site for you, so you're more than welcome to take a look at that too. And with that, good luck on this project. I'll look forward to reading it.